everybody around the world in YouTube land. I'm Chef Stephanie here from Vegan Gastronomy, and I am so excited. This is my very first video here in our new space, our new kitchen, right here in the Cyclades. That sounds kind of unique. The Cyclades are actually an island chain here in Greece. We are on the island of Naxos. Look it up. Go check out your geography, do a little bit of world history, and find out where Naxos is. It's only a quick plane ride away from Athens. We are on a beautiful Greek island, and I'm going to be, because I'm starting here in Greece, I'm going to be doing a typical Greek dish that normally uses eggs, but we're not going to be using traditional eggs. We'll be using our vegan eggs, and it also normally uses cheese. This is actually something called Greek Strapatsada. I'm sure I butchered that. I'm going to be learning more Greek language, but it is Greek Strapatsada. And this loosely translates to eggs plus tomatoes and cheese. So who doesn't love that? So those are the more classic things that absolutely are going to be in this dish. But you also can add things like onions that we're going to put in there today, and spices. We're going to be using some local oregano. You know, one of the things we really promote here at Vegan Gastronomy is using things that are local. And here on the island of Naxos, they actually grow their own oregano, which is tremendous. And we're going to be using some of this today, not only to garnish it at the very end. Hi, oh, hello. Thanks so much for commenting on the space. Yeah, we are in a new space. Not only are we going to be using the oregano in a little bit of the finishing and some of the seasoning, but I've actually even infused some of the local olive oil with a little bit of with some oregano essential oil, which of course is food grade. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to show you, so there are a couple of parts to this recipe, and after the video, I'll be posting the link for the recipe in the bottom. So you have to wait, you have to watch me do it, and then you can see the link for yourself, and you can make this dish for your own self. Okay, so step number one is we're going to create our egg. Now remember, we're not using chicken eggs, we're not using something that comes round, we're using something called a vegan egg, and here at Vegan Gastronomy, we call it Gloria. Why Gloria? Because it's our name internally here, it's how we sell it. We say Gloria was a happy chicken because she didn't have to lay eggs for all of us to consume. She gets to keep the eggs for herself. Now Gloria comes in this really convenient 60-gram packet. One of the things that's unique about Gloria is she is completely allergy-free, so no allergens here. She has a really long shelf life of up to 2 years, so you could, I've never seen anybody keep it for 2 years, but if you wanted to, you could. So this is 60 grams, and this is the equivalent to a dozen eggs. So this is actually made from potatoes. This also has some plant fiber in it. It's very low in calories, it's high in fiber, it is high in protein, and it's really easy to use. I'm going to show you now, but you do need to do a little bit of preparation. So we're going to use just 3 ingredients. I'm going to show you now how to prepare this egg, because we do need to make it in a little bit different way. So we're going to be using a little bit of Gloria, which I haven't, and again, all this will be in the recipe. I have portioned out here 18 grams of the powder. And so this is the color, how it looks. It just is a very basic powder. Now, you can either use plant milk or you can use just regular old water. So I'm going to be using water today. And then the only other thing you want to add, the third ingredient, is a little bit of mild vegetable oil. Now, you could use olive oil, but normally, depending upon where you are, some olive oils are a little bigger, bolder, and more robust. So we don't want that to overpower the Gloria or the egg flavor. So I'm going to be using just a little bit of mild vegetable oil in this recipe. Now, you can blend this up in a blender. You can use an immersion blender, you know, that bzzz, but I'm going to go old school today and just show you how you can really make this very easily just in a jar. You want to have a jar that has a nice tight lid, because we are going to be agitating this. I do recommend putting in your liquid first. That way your powder won't clump up. So I'm going to put the water in. Again, I have that measured out. So that's actually 135 grams. We're going to be dumping here then into my Gloria mix. And then just about a teaspoon of there we go, of the mild vegetable oil. And like I mentioned, you do not have to use sunflower oil or vegetable oil. You could use olive oil, it's your choice. So now just put that lid on really well, and you want to shake, shake, shake. You can use a whisk if you like, but you just want to shake, 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 and get that all nice and mixed up. Now you can see how liquidy that is. This is a fresh batch, and you have to wait. This one you cannot use straight away. As it combines with the liquid, either the water or the plant milk, it's a fancy term we call it is hydrating, okay? It's actually gonna get thicker. Now I did this one earlier, and see how nice and thick this gets. So this is the exact same thing, but see, this is liquidy and this one is thicker. The thicker one, you need to wait at least 1 hour. So at least 1 hour. You could do this overnight, which is fine, but you need to do this at least 1 hour ahead of time. So this one is 100% ready. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be we're going to be making this dish with tomatoes as well as our egg. So first of all, but I also want to add a little bit of onion, because something else vegan gastronomy is known for is utilizing things that are local and in season. And I really like these onions are grown here on the island. They're really flavorful, and I just think it adds a nice little addition to the flavor profile of this dish. So I'm just going to pop on I will tell you, this is my brand new first time using this burner, so I'm really excited about this. And I am going to be adding, remember I mentioned a little bit earlier about the oregano. So I have infused, like I mentioned, a little bit into this olive oil, a little bit of oregano essential oil. So this is going to be really, really effervescent and very robust. We haven't developed smell-o-vision yet. Maybe someone will do that in the future. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in there. And over medium to medium-high heat, I'm going to just saute up these onions. You can smell it already. So now while those onions are getting going, I want to show you how you're going to work with our tomato. Now, you can use any type of tomato you like. This is great to use when you have a lot of summer tomatoes. Right now it's winter here, and it's easier. Some people use canned tomatoes, but I really like to use a fresh tomato, and it's much easier to use one larger one. The recipe calls for about 175 grams of your tomato, and the easiest way to prepare it is actually to get a box grater. And then you want to use the large box, the large whole size. Let me turn this down a little bit. Those onions are rocking and rolling. So all I'm going to do is take the box grater, put it in a bowl. I reckon something that's shallow that has a little bit of lip on it. You don't want to do it on a cutting board, because then all of your juices are going to fly all over the place. So you just want to hold the opposite end from the tomato tip, and then now you're just going to gently push down, and we're literally going to be just grating this like you would cheese. And speaking of cheese, if you haven't heard about it, we do have an entire vegan cheese course that we do teach here online as well as in person. And if you haven't checked that out, or you haven't taken that, please make sure you check our website. So you just want to gently grate all this. You can see it's coming out really easily. And there's going to be a lot of liquid, but that's fine. We're actually going to be adding this to our onions. We just want to make the onions translucent, so I'm getting a little bit of color on there. It's a little bit of that Maillard reaction, which is fine. All right, I'm happy with that tomato now. I want to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to those onions. Boom, a little bit of salt, just a little bit of pepper. And I'm actually going to add, just to do some of this flavor layering, I'll put a little bit of oregano. And now we're going to be dumping in our tomatoes, or tomatoes, however you say it. Nice noise here. And don't worry about how much juice or how much liquid you have in the tomatoes, because we're going to be reducing this and concentrating the flavors as it cooks. Yes. Oh yes, actually, yes, one of my colleagues here off camera just reminded me that watching these videos, if you are a local here in Greece, this is a way that you can practice your English. We love to have as many people on as possible. I don't speak Greek yet. I'll be learning it little bits and pieces, but this is a great way to learn English, be to learn some bits and pieces, kind of the cooking style. So see, I'm just letting this bubble. I have this on medium heat. I want to let this bubble and I want this to reduce. That's going to concentrate the flavors in this tomato. Now you do want to keep that bowl that you grated your tomato in, keep that right there on the side, because I am going to be pulling off, once we get this to the desired consistency and amount, I am going to be pulling off the tomatoes with the onions. They're going to be nice and hot, and then I'll be mixing it. Now I do have here some vegan cheese. You can make your own. This is vegan feta. You can make your own, or you can buy it. If you want to learn how to do it, you can come to our vegan cheese class, but this is readily available here in Greece, but you could absolutely substitute another cheese, but this is the classic one that will be a Greek feta. So you just want to kind of crumble this. In the classic tradition of making this dish, the cheese is often heated up, but I like to keep this chunky and firm, so I'm just going to combine it with the tomatoes actually as I bring them off. So I'm getting some nice fumes here. Delicious. A little bit more. You can see it's still a little bit too wet for me. There's still a little bit too much volume of the tomato. I want to get that down a little bit. I really want to concentrate that flavor and have it be extremely infused. It's like we're infusing our tomatoes with some of those onions, with the oregano, and then just balancing out with just a little old salt and pepper. Now remember, in the recipe, it does say salt to taste. Remember, in most feta cheeses, they are a little bit on the salty side. So you don't want to put too much salt in now. You can always give it a taste at the very end, but because those cheeses are quite salty. So they do vary, so just bear that in mind. All right, we're almost getting done here. You can do these separately, but I wanted to do these one by one for you to show you how we are. I want to make this about the consistency of a tomato sauce or a passata that you might buy commercially. This is what we teach in our level 1 course as well. We actually teach how to make lasagna. We teach how to utilize passata and make lasagna. We infuse flavors. We teach about different seasonings. You know, in traditional recipes, oftentimes meats were used to infuse flavor. We'll show you how they do that not only here in Greece, but around the world. We love being focused here in the Mediterranean. I know, having come from Spain, we love so much of the island food, and we're learning more, which by the way, here comes my official plug. I'll be doing these videos every week. They'll be all savory based. This one has eggs in it, but every single week on Tuesdays at 1 p.m., that's Greenwich Mean Time plus 2, so 1 p.m. local Greece time. That's GMT plus 2. I'll be doing these live savory videos. So they'll be coming to Eastern Europe Standard Time. Thank you very much. Yes, I never heard it called that. Eastern Europe Standard Time. So now I'm just happy with this. This is a good consistency for me. In general, let's see, I'll get this a little closer. So you can see it's not running. I can just see there's the glistening of the oil in there. All the watery parts and bits have been absorbed from the tomatoes. So it's really going to depend upon how watery and runny your tomatoes were. But I want that to be nice, not dry, but I want it to be thicker. And so now I'm just dumping this off. You can use the same pan. Now, a great difference between Gloria and a traditional egg is that Gloria needs to be cooked over a much lower temperature. So actually, I'm going to be putting this on here with this cooktop. I have it on 4. Actually, I want to get it down even lower. We'll see how, it's not liking my finger, Jess. I don't have the magic fingers yet. 2, there we go, boom. Okay, I like that. Now, depending upon your pan, you want to have just a little bit of oil, so I am going to add just a little bit of that oregano oil, just a smidge back in there, not too much. And you do want to make sure that you do this over low heat. One of the problems that people have is that they cook this on too high of a heat. This is not something you would be doing in a wok. This mix needs to be cooked over a low heat because of all the plant fibers in it and because of the proteins, potato protein in there, and everything in there, the setting agents that we use. You want to cook it over a low to medium heat. So now I'm just pouring this in. Now we teach a lot with this. We do make omelets with it. We can make French omelets, and we make quiches. And oh my gosh, actually, in Jessica's baking class, I saw a student the other day who did a quiche with this product, and she said that this was the best quiche, the best vegan or plant-based quiche that she ever had in her entire life. So I don't know how many she's had, but she was very happy with it. So I'm just going to let this start to cook for a while. In the meantime, I want to show you here, I'm taking my crumbled feta and I'm just going to pour this in here. What's kind of nice is the hot tomatoes are going to be mixed up with the cheese. And if you've ever worked with vegan cheese, sometimes they do break down and they get kind of liquidy and watery. So, I mean, not the ones that we make here, but some of the commercial ones, they will melt and spread. So I want to keep these really chunky. So that's why I'm not even putting it in the pan and cooking it. I'm just allowing the heat from the tomatoes to naturally warm it up. So I'm really happy with that consistency, and that's a nice ratio of tomatoes to the cheese. Now I'm going to show you here. This, like I mentioned, this does take a while, so you want to be very, very patient with this. I'm going to go up to 3 on our eggs, if my buddy allows me. So we use induction here at Vegan Gastronomy. I know some people around the world like to use gas. It works with all types of cooking surfaces. So you can use it gas, you can use the induction. You can utilize this product, like I mentioned, in quiches. It's great for frittatas. I'll be showing you a bunch of other recipes and applications. It seems like almost every country around the world kind of has this peasant type of food where they have a really basic egg dish that's mixed with something. So these are, once again, the local herbs and then the cheeses and the tomatoes. I know that we did an Italian dish. I even did a Nigerian dish that had very similar properties and elements. The Nigerian dish was like a Nigerian egg sauce, it was called, and it had red peppers in it and onions, so very similar. So you're going to see some of these things repeating. Now, you can do a couple of things. I just want to show you how I have not chopped this up yet. So you can do this in a couple of different ways. The more classic style of the strapatsada is to have it be scrambled eggs. So I'm going to start doing that and agitating this. If you want to make it more of an omelet, you can leave it in an omelet form. But I want this to be more free form and more peasant-y and more, how shall we say, rustic. So I'm going to start agitating this. You don't want to have any clear-cut pattern. You want to have it be very, very free form. Because if you just take a knife or your spatula, it's going to have hard edges, which we don't want. We want to have this be very free form. Okay, I'm going to let this cook just a little bit more. And this is a very kind of wet egg, if you will, because it's mixed with the tomatoes and the way it's typically served. Oftentimes, they actually mix it. And if you looked at one of the thumbnails of this video, I even had a little bit of our local bread. So you can make it with a crusty bread, and then you kind of scoop up all of the elements, or you can even serve it on the bread, some people do, like an avocado toast. So it's really to each his own. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's very quick, easy, nutritious. It can be served. It is served as a breakfast food, but I've also heard a lot of people serve it as a snack food. Now, in the recipe, I also we didn't use it today, but some people, if their tomatoes are really bitter, they'll add a little bit of sugar. But I find these tomatoes are so sweet. You can also optionally add, even some people put even a little bit of vinegar in there, but we're not going to be using that today. All right, so now all I'm going to do is pull this off. I'm going to drop my tomatoes back in there with my cheese. All right, here we go. I have a couple of my tomatoes. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of my oregano I'm going to put on there. And there you go. This is the Greek Strapatsada, which literally is eggs plus cheese and tomatoes. You can't go wrong. The classic Greek feta with, of course, homegrown tomatoes and then a nice crusty Greek bread. So this one I purchased. Oh, thank you so much. Someone says it looks yummy. This one I did buy, but if you're interested in making your own breads, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a lot more breads, and if you really want to dive deeper into baking, join our P1 or our baking course with Chef Jessica, where she teaches you how to make everything from your own sourdough starter to croissants, muffins, and more. But I'm going to get back to my vegan egg strapatsada. I have to learn how to say très bien in Greek. Bon appetito, that's not Greek either. I have to learn it. If anybody knows how to say bon appetit in Greek, please put it in the comments. And shortly, I'll be putting the link below for the recipe for this Greek strapatsada that you can make for yourself and your family. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, no, not Wednesday, today's Wednesday. We were delayed one day because of some construction here. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. What'd you say it was, Jess? Eastern, Greek, Eastern?
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern European Time.
Yeah, Eastern European Standard.
Eastern European Standard Time, yeah, because Eastern Standard Time is the East Coast of New York. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. We love having more people watch and provide comments. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Oh, someone said thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And have a fabulous day. And don't forget to check out the Greek Strapatsada. Bye-bye.